Today, we are continuing our study of the 8th chapter. And I think you know that we were somewhere on the 17th chapter, where we were discussing how Krishna is describing wonderfully to Arjuna amazing things. Okay, so Krishna starts explaining actually an important shloka. If you go into that and see from 17 onwards, Sahasra Yuga Pariyantam Aharyat Brahmano Viduhu Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam Teho Ratra Vido Jana. And he is explaining in that particular shloka, where you can see that there is an amazing amount of numbers in the lifetime of Brahma, and it is being broken down for easy understanding for us. And it is broken down into the yugas. For those of you who have done Gita Saram, Gita Life, BGO, Bhagavad Gita Overview, we would have covered this to some extent. But this is another shocking statement made by Krishna, which makes us understand how teeny, weeny, how small we are. Krishna is explaining in terms of yuga. I think all of you know these yugas. Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali. I have listed it out for you. The duration in years of Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is the smallest, 432,000 years, out of which we have passed 5,000 plus years already. And then Dwapara Yuga is 2 times Kali Yuga, and Treta Yuga is 3 times Kali Yuga, and Satya Yuga is 4 times Kali Yuga, period. So Satya Yuga is over, Treta is over, Dwapara Yuga is over, and we are in Kali Yuga. And these 4 together are called one Divya Yuga or one Chatur Yuga. 4 yugas together is called one Chatur Yuga or one Divya Yuga. Like this, there are 1,000 yugas, 1,000 Divya Yugas in one day of Brahma from morning to night, one 12-hour day of Brahma. That's why he's saying Sahasra. Sahasra means 1,000. Sahasra Yuga Pariyantam Aharyat Brahmano Viduhu. Brahma's one day is equal to 1,000 yugas, and so also is his night. Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam Teyaho Ratra Vido Jana. Even in the night, he goes to sleep, and 1,000 Divya Yugas pass. His one night sleeping is equal to 1,000 Divya Yugas. In this way, Brahma has 24 hours a day, which means night and day together, 24 hours. And he lives for 365 days a year and 100 years. So if you calculate, you will see that Brahma's life comes to 311 trillion and 40 billion years or something like that. You can see in the purport to that Prabhupada has written. Okay. A kalpa is equal to the 1,000 yugas together is called a kalpa. So many kalpas. In many different ways, you can break it down and calculate the life of Brahma with respect to your life. This is calculated with respect to human beings' life. These are all relative calculations. Why? Because the perception of Brahma is he is living. Our conditioning, according to our consciousness and according to our conditioning, you will see that each one of us has got a perception that lasts and makes us think that we live for 100 years. But relatively, their perceptions shows that each one has got a different perception. Although I think I live for 100 years, relatively, you see Brahma is a very, very long period. So it's 311 trillion 40 billion years that you heard. Sometimes people don't understand this, they don't have so easy faith. How is it possible? But you can see other living entities in front of you who also have lives that are in relation to your life, very small periods. And some are big periods and bigger. Human being is not the longest living creature. There are many other creatures which live much longer than human beings. That is known to by studying geography, zoology, and prehistoric that and this and all sorts of research. So we do know that. So we know that there are living entities who live more than us. That is known. Similarly, we can extrapolate that into this where Krishna is telling. If you can see that, the 17th shloka, Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyat Brahmano. And that Krishna is explaining to you the lifetime of Brahma. So we can understand in comparison to Brahma what teeny weeny small living entities we are. And added to that, Brahma prays in the beginning of creation to the Lord that Yasyekanis Vashita Kalam Athavalambya Jivanti Loma Vidaja Jagadandanatha Vishnur Mahan Hayasya Kala Visesho Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. During creation, Brahma is praying. In one of his slokas in the prayer is Yasyekanis Vashita Kalam Athavalambya Jivanti Loma Vidaja. That is, Jivanti means I live for. How much? Yasyekanis Swashita Kalam. Mahavishnu's one breathing time, one inhalation, one exhalation of Mahavishnu is equal to the lifetime of Brahma. This is another shloka for you to connect. Yasyekanis Swashita Kalam. Swasha Kalam means one intake and one exhalation. When Mahavishnu does that once, Mahavishnu in Mitra Yoga, you will see that beautiful painting. When he does that once, it's equal to one lifetime of Brahma. You can imagine now what is the meaning of saying who God is. We can't even accommodate Brahma's lifetime within our psyche, within our intellect. And here is Brahma saying, my one lifetime is your one breath to Mahavishnu. And Mahavishnu is only a portion of the portion of the portion of Krishna. That is to be understood. That from Krishna comes Balarama, the first expansion. From Balarama comes the Chaturvyuha expansion, consists of Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Sankarshana. These four. From this comes Narayana. And from that Narayana comes another Mahasankarshana, Chaturvyuha. And then comes from that Sankarshana Mahavishnu. And then from Mahavishnu comes Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. From Garbhodakashayi Vishnu expands the Kshirodakashayi Vishnu and the Paramatma situated in everybody's heart. So it's also expansion of an expansion, Mahavishnu. And Brahma is praying, oh Govinda, your expansions, Mahavishnu's, one breath is my lifetime. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship Govinda, the Adi Purusha, Tam Aham Bhajami. Bhajami means I worship. Aham Bhajami means I worship. So he is addressing Govinda, the original Supreme Lord Krishna, and telling him your expansions, Kala and Amsha. They are called, Amsha means expansion, Kala means expansion. So your Kalas, Mahavishnu, his one breath is equal to my lifetime. This is the prayer of Brahma. So Prabhupada is commenting very brilliantly. You must read that purport. He calculates and tell you in figures that the lifetime of Brahma is so much. Therefore, the breadth of Mahavishnu should be 311 trillion 40 billion years in terms of human life calculation. Now, how dare you say that I am God? Just you cannot even accommodate within your head the lifetime of Brahma. And here is God describing Brahma's life. And Brahma elsewhere is describing his life in relation to Krishna's one breathing or Mahavishnu's one breathing. So now what is the meaning of somebody saying, you are God, I am God? Just ask this question because God is speaking here in Bhagavad Gita. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam. He is giving the understanding of how he has created, how he has put Brahma in charge. In this particular universe, we live in the universe of Chaturmukha Brahma, of four-headed Brahma's universe. And there are many, many, many universes. All of them have got Brahmas. All of them have got all the 33 crores demigods each. But there is only one Krishna. There are many Mahavishnus. In each one of these universes, there is Mahavishnu. There is Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu. But there is only one Krishna. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhaja. That Brahma is speaking about him. That is what in the 7th chapter we heard. That supreme absolute truth speaking about himself. That supreme absolute truth, because Arjuna has asked him questions, he is again giving answers. Kim tat brahma kim adhyatmam kim karma purushottama adi devam kim proktam adi yajnam chayate. Remember the first shloka is Arjuna's question in the 8th chapter. And then Krishna answers them. And then he says, Prayana Kale, how to pass away. How to pass away. Then we learned about how to die. Art of leaving this body. And then Krishna goes further to describe time spans as he's doing now. So the absolute truth is that supreme personality of God, Krishna, who is speaking the Bhagavad Gita. And when we hear this shloka, we can become stunned. Similarly, you will see Krishna goes further to say, helplessly these living entities come into being and they are destroyed. They come into being and they are helplessly destroyed. This is very amazing. You will see in the next shloka, Avyaktadyaktaha sarvaha prabhavandi aharagame ratri agame pradiyante tatraiva vyakta samaknite. At the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifest state. And thereafter, when the night falls, they are merged into unmanifest again. What does this mean? Brahma goes to sleep. At the end of 1,000 Chaturyugas, he needs to sleep. When Brahma sleeps, there is no activity. So all of us also lie creation in morning to night. Satya Treta Dwapara Kali, destruction. Again creation. Satya Treta Dwapara Kali, destruction. Again creation. Like that 1,000 times in one day he does. Brahma. But we are inside that very teeny weeny people going up and down. We are maybe taking, in one Chaturyuga, we may be taking 1,000 Janmas or 10,000 Janmas. Just understand what it means. How amazing this is. How just amazing it is. Size and numbers. Okay. That is why it is being put forward. And helplessly they are destroyed. It's mentioned here. We go to the next shloka. The next shloka says, Bhuta gramahasa evayam bhutva bhutva praliyate ratri agame avashaha partha prabhavati ahar agame. Verse 19, I'm reading. Okay. So, can I ask somebody to please read the translation of that? Can I ask anybody wants to read that? Raghupati, Dr. D. Raghupati. Mataji, your name is displayed as D. Raghupati. I'm sorry, Draupadi. Okay, Draupadi. I'm not able to see it here. I'm on my iPad, so it's very small. Draupadi, sorry. Will you read that translation to the shloka 19? We can't hear you because you're unmuted.
Again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being, and with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated.
Helplessly annihilated. Look at the word used. Hopelessly, helplessly. Destroyed, recreated, destroyed, recreated. This material world is not a big thing. We treasure so many things. We keep the gold, we keep the land, we keep the documents, we keep the money. Everything gets destroyed and recreated again. And again and again and again. It's like morning to night, Brahma does it. All your collections and all your great diamonds and jewels and money and possessions are devastated, finished, and recreated. Actually, material wealth is nothing much because it is repeatedly created and repeatedly destroyed. But you are not destroyed. You are spirit soul forever. And you again and again take birth and again die. Hopelessly, helplessly. That is mentioned here. Right? So I think you're getting an idea of size, you're getting an idea of a miserable situation that we are in. But we somehow try to make ourselves happy in that situation. That's the best part of it. Then Krishna goes to say in the 20th shloka, Parastasmatu bhavo anyo abhyakto abhyaktata sanatana yahasa sarveshu bhuteshu nashyat suna vinashyati. Right? See this now. After Krishna is speaking about the nature of this material world, the creation, the temporary stuff, then he's saying all this completely diametrically opposite to this is another nature. Para bhava. Parastasmatu bhavo. Beyond this bhavana of temporariness is another nature, the spiritual nature. Vyakta abhyaktata sanatana. It is not manifested in this region which you see. Yahasa sarveshu bhuteshu. There are many living entities there. And nashyatsu na vinashyati. There is no vinasha. There is no destruction there. They live in that realm forever. Nasyatsu. No nasha for them. Na vinashyati. No annihilation. Okay. So Sandhya, can you read that translation, Sandhya? Dr. Sandhya.
Yes, Maharaj. Yet there is another unmanifest nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. Thank you, Maharaj.
Yes, thank you. When everything in this world is annihilated, that remains as it is. So Krishna is introducing here to you another world, a diametrically opposite world, with a diametrically opposite nature. Just think about it. Just think about it. You are eternal. You are spirit soul. You are eternal. You don't die. You don't belong to this world of birth and death. You don't belong to this body that you hold now. There is another nature, which is what is your real nature. You belong to that world. You belong to the spiritual world. You belong to the spiritual world. You don't belong here. You're getting teased. You're getting ragged here repeatedly by giving you a material body, putting you into it and taking you out of it. Putting you into it and taking you out of it. You must at least understand, why are you doing this to me? You should ask a question at least. But if you become busy about between the doing and the undoing, if you become busy about material life and take it very seriously, and then worry and then agitate yourself and have depressions and excitement and go to the dock and then change this and that and all that, and then you die. Then again, a completely new situation is created. So all this is of actually no value. That's the bubble is going to burst. It is not permanent. So just think about it. How serious should you ever be about the things that are happening around you? And about the things that you invest yourself in? Because they're all going to be destroyed. But what will remain is you. And what will remain is the spiritual world. And what will remain is Krishna. This is forever. But everything else is a flux, moving up and down around you. And all of that is temporary. All of that actually shouldn't take it seriously. It's just fluctuating like nothing. You are stuck in that fluctuation and you take that fluctuation seriously. So think about it. Here is Krishna saying in the verse 21, Avyakta akshare iti uktastam ahu paramam gatim yam prapyana nivartante tadhama paramam mama. Please note, tadhama. Abode means dhama. That abode is paramam, top and supreme. Mama, it is mine. Krishna is inviting you to his abode, to his permanent place. Think about this invitation, please. Read this particular translation. Sunita, you want to read this translation?
That which the Vedantas describe as unmanifest and infallible, that which is known as the supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, one never returns, that is my supreme abode.
Yes. That is my supreme abode. Right? Now you get to understand what is Krishna's abode. It is not an ordinary thing. It's not like what we think it is. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Maharaj.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah. So this is a quote of Prabhupada: in the material universe, not even Brahma is free from the process of birth, old age, death, and disease. Interesting. So this is what we read. And here is a description of the Supreme Lord's abode. It's called Goloka Vrindavana. I picked up these highlights from Prabhupada's purports for you, just in case you didn't have time to read it. Krishna is describing my abode, full of palaces made of touchstone. Chintamani prakara satpachu kalpa vriksha laksha briteshu surabhi ravipalayantam Lakshmi sahasra sadasam brahma sevyamanam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Brahma is describing Goloka Vrindavana. It's filled with palaces made of touchstone, Chintamani. You know, touchstone, if you touch anything with that, it will become gold. So it's actually like that, the palaces. And then there are not ordinary trees, they are called Kalpa Vriksha, desire trees. You can go to that tree, to each one of them, and desire anything you want. It's not that jackfruit tree will give only jackfruit. It's not that mango tree will give only mango. It will give you anything you want. Any type of food you want. It will supply to you. You go to a jackfruit tree and say that I want Simla apple. It will give you. You can go to a mango tree and you can say I want durian. In Malaysia they eat durian. I want that. I'll give you. This is the meaning of Kalpa Vriksha. And then there are unlimited Surabhi cows which supply lots of milk. It's mentioned that the udder wet the ground of Chintamani Dhama with milk. It becomes soggy with milk, flowing out of the udders of the Surabhi cows. Wherever you walk, there are puddles and wetness due to milk wetting the ground. Hundreds and thousands of Lakshmis are sweeping and cleaning the Chintamani Dhama. Laksha Vriteshu Surabhira Vipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Satasam Brahma Sevyamanam. Thousands of Lakshmis are cleaning their place and they're very happy to be servant maids of Krishna. And then Venum Kwanbantam Aravinda Dalayataksham Barhavatam Samasitam Budasundarangam Kandarpakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Sobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Lord Brahma is describing, and there Venum Kwanbantam. Kwanantam means the Lord is blowing his Venu, his flute. It's very attractive, and his form is very attractive. Shamam Tribanga Lalitam Niyata Prakasham. He's got a three-bend form, threefold, thribhanga form, transcendental form of the Lord. His eyes are like lotus petals. The color of the body is the color of a fresh rain-bearing cloud, darkish blue. And he wears saffronish yellow cloth, a garland around his neck, and a peacock feather in his hair, and bees are buzzing around that garland. All this is described in the scriptures about the abode of the Lord, which Krishna is describing here. And the Lord's energies are so expansive that they systematically conduct everything in this cosmic manifestation without a flaw, although the Supreme Lord is far, far away. So to enter into that Krishna's supreme abode, or the innumerable Vaikuntha planets, it is possible only by developing Bhakti, devotion to the Supreme. Okay. This is Krishna's instruction here. And we can understand that Krishna is describing his abode because he is from there. Now you can say that, oh, I don't believe that, oh, this, that, everything, and you can live in your own bubble. But the reality is that bubble will burst and you will take birth again and be given another bubble. Constantly you get bubble after bubble, but never the reality. Okay? So think about this. This is 22 shlokas from 17 to 22 today's lessons. We have been introduced to our temporary situation and our world under Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma. And then in contrast to that, Krishna is introducing the timeline of Brahma's life and how tiny we are. And then he's actually speaking about the greatness of the spiritual worlds, where we actually belong. And he's inviting us to come. And repeatedly, Krishna in many places invites, become my devotee, come back to me. Right? So as good citizens, cultured people will normally honor an invitation. If somebody invites you for marriage ceremony of my daughter, somebody invites you for my new house, Griha Pravesham, we actually go, we honor the invitation. Because a cultured person will say, yes, thank you, I'll come. And you actually go there and show them, I have come here for you. I want to be with you for your celebration and I appreciate it. And this is the meaning of society and culture. And here is God, Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, repeatedly inviting you to come to his abode. Would you like to go? Would you like to reciprocate? Would you like to say, yes, I will come. You have invited me. I'll prepare myself and come. To go to the Griha Pravesham, to go to the marriage, all the ladies will deck themselves up very nicely. They'll prepare themselves, wear the best of outfits, wear the best of jewels, go to the boutique and get themselves made up. And then let's step into the wedding and wow, everybody has come prepared. Isn't it? Don't you prepare yourself before you go to the wedding? Right. Similarly, A spirit soul has to prepare himself to go back to Krishna. Right? That's a different atmosphere. So you have to be prepared in your spiritual body. You cannot go in your material body. So there also you need a change of dress, a good outfit. And you need to be decked up also, all with spiritual qualities. Right? You have to completely rejuvenate yourself. Stop thinking materially. You are not this body. You are spirit soul. You are a devotee of Krishna. And in this way, you'll get a completely transcendental body. In that transcendental body, you'll be able to go back to the spiritual world. Preparation for going to the spiritual world is what is the goal of human life. In human life, we should spend our time preparing to go back to Godhead. Getting ready. Preparing our mind, preparing our heart, preparing our thoughts with meditation on Krishna. And when you are suitably prepared, you can step into the spiritual world. It's a reality. Don't think this is just some smoke screen put up by Krishna. It is true. It exists. And many, many living entities like you and me live there permanently without birth, without death, without old age, without disease. In their spiritual bodies they live and they revel in great pastimes with Krishna. No fear of death, no fear of being born again, no fear of any type of loss. You are permanently, eternally situated in great happiness. It's called Anandam Bhudivardhanam. Situated in great happiness in Krishna's shelter, and there's nothing to worry about. Nothing can go wrong. Nothing ever can go wrong in Krishna's planet. So this is an invitation given by Krishna. Please consider very deeply whether you want to attend the function or not. And if you did not go, I would say you would prove yourself to be an uncouth, uncultured person. You have to heed to Krishna's invitation. Think about that. What will Krishna think of you if he invites you and you don't go? Can you say, I didn't have a proper sari to come? I didn't have a proper transport to take me there. These are all the things we normally tell people. I was sick. My stomach was upset. Different excuses we say when we don't go to the marriage or don't go to something. We decide, no, I don't want to go to that person's daughter's wedding. And when they call you up, you'll say, oh, I had a very bad stomach. And I just could have so much wanted to come to you. Would you like to say these type of bluffs to Krishna, who's sitting in your heart and knows everything that you're doing? So you have to respond as a human being in the human form of life, with the intelligence that you have between your ears and the brains that you have and the gray matter you have. You have to respond properly as a civilized human being. You have to take up Krishna consciousness, prepare yourself, go back to Godhead. Okay? Yes. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Any question or comment?